Out of Heroes Hearth, this is Kyle Fergusson. Today I get to sit down with MasonBlaze's Valla, a legend around these parts. This is Storm Division, We Taketh Away versus Anti-Clown Association. Welcome to you, MasonBlaze.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to share some knowledge.
I'm excited to see it. This is the fabled Valla here. We're gonna get to see. Are you currently holding down spacebar? Do you play with lock camera?
Spacebar
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. Always interesting to see. So, for the sake of the draft, we're here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and there was an enemy first pick Junkrat, and then you second picked Valla, which seems scary.
So, historically, whenever my drafters are doing their thing, Valla is actually quite good into Junkrat because aside from me randomly face checking a bush, which I shouldn't do, he literally just cannot interact with me as a hero. So he's zero threat. I can just dance around him. He's nothing he can do. The only thing I have to really be conscious about is a random riptide to the face, which shouldn't be that much of a deal.
Is that because of Vault? Because your ability to get out of bomb range? Or what gives Squishy Valla that ability?
It's just because he... Assuming that Junkrat doesn't have perfect aim on Q, he can't just like click me, right? He literally exerts zero pressure on me. If that was a Rainer, I have to be conscious because I can't just step up to him and face tank or a Grey Mane. Junkrat does no damage, essentially, to a Valla, and I can just kill him.
Interesting, so there's not the whittle down pressure that would cause Valla to become scared in the first place.
Yeah, Junkrat literally just doesn't interact with Valla at all.
So is there anything on the enemy team you're afraid of then? Like a Maiev teleporting in or like a late game Johanna stun?
So essentially Joe double blind is the most, like Joe double blind and Blaze level 7 attack spoil are the things that I'm not worried about, but from an auto attacker's perspective are the most annoying. Because there will be times when team fighting I just can't kill anything. But then from side of being scared, Maev's literally the only thing on the team that I have to be conscious about. A Maiev from over a wall eating and dubbing me into its 2-up combo, I'm dead.
So with Maiev on the screen right now, you actually are playing pretty confident then because there's no surprises.
Exactly. Yeah, if I know where Maiev is, then nothing on any team scares me at all.
I guess I didn't think about either. Let's see, you also get movement speed for your hatred, so I guess that also helps you deal with any Junkrat-isms.
Yep.
So you've already got a level 1 here, and let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. You've got the Fire at Will going, which is a quest to hit heroes with multi-shot. In this 4-stack business, I guess it helps lane clear, but probably just aiming at as many people as possible right now.
Yeah, so the reason why I went W build here is primarily because of the map. I like having more wave clear and stalling turn-ins better, being a lot more safer, but since the enemy team has double blinds and a Blaze attack speed oil, auto attack build loses a lot of value. And then Q build, Q build versus W build here, I'd rather just have more wave clear than random one shot or camp doing because this map doesn't really demand that. And also on top of all that, W build is by far, in my opinion, the easiest build to play. And I'd say in this game I'm a little rusty, so it being the easiest build to play, I can more focus on my positioning while not having to do anything special, like Eing aggressively for more damage.
So it sounds like what you said there, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you prefer auto attack build. That's what you'd rather do in the ideal situation.
Yeah, I think auto build, while it's more difficult to play, is the just most upfront raw damage, especially later in the game when you get more late game talents. It's pretty disgusting when every 5 seconds you can make your auto attack deal 1,000 damage, and you can literally just pelt down tanks with Manticore and insane attack speed. W build, I would say, falls off later in the game in my opinion, like when Q build starts one-shotting and auto attack build starts just doing way more damage than W build can do.
Is auto attack build death dealer at the level 4?
Yeah, so it's the one that makes your E 5-second cooldown and makes your auto attack do significant more damage.
So here in the build you're currently running, you have the grenades, so increase the range of multi-shot, fires grenades, and refunds mana back per hero hit. So level 1, particularly in this kind of 4v4 sort of scenario we have on Tomb of the Spider Queen, just farming W's as much as you can, as often as you can, W's. Does anything change in your playstyle at 4?
For W build, when I no matter what build I am at level 4, I'm happy because it makes stacking easier. It makes it easier so I can hit W on an entire wave and hit a lot of heroes, or on a wall and hit a lot of heroes. Literally, the only thing that changes is my hero becomes twice as good, no matter what build I am.
Do you have mana issues before 4? Is that ever
No,
a thing?
I never have mana issues with Valla.
Level 7 here, you got Hot Pursuit, which is not the one with the picture.
Yeah, so this one is a little arguable in terms of preference, but when I play Valla, not having this level 7 makes me feel significantly weaker. It's so much easier to outmaneuver enemy skill shots while, basically maximizing my damage while staying safer. It's a lot easier with this talent. The level 7 W is good, but again, from my perspective, of how many games I've played Valla versus really good teams, nothing beats movement speed. Movement speed is OP, especially when you're playing a squishy hero like Valla.
That would help you stay connected as well with like an auto attack build. So do you prefer that with basically every build you do?
Yeah, so for auto attack and W build, if I'm those, I always 100% time pick Hot Pursuit. If I'm Q build on like BOE, or I really need, the racing, I'll go the, what's it called? The Monster Hunter at level 7 for Q build. Unless I'm on, let's say, like towers and I randomly want to go Q build, Frost Shot gets a lot of value with Q build, because my W increasing the damage of my Qs for better one shot is really strong.
What about on Infernal Shrines? Would Monster Hunter kind of fail there with the bouncing onto multiple skeletons, or?
Yeah, I would say if you're ever on Infernal, I would just always recommend going W or auto build, because the Shrine Minions makes it a lot harder to like secure kills, since your Q can't pierce through the monkeys. So W build makes it a lot easier to either snipe away a lot of the Shrine Monkeys from the enemy, or auto attack build, so you can literally just E auto, and just like insane mobility on Shrine and stealing monkeys.
So here at level 10, you've now gotten a hold of your stun, the Rain of Vengeance. In a more Q build, there's a very kind of dedicated combo with like a, maybe a stun in there, but the Q, E, Q kind of business. Is there a one-shot build you have in this multi-shot, or is it more responsive and kind of a final volt to get the kill?
So no matter what build I go, I always prefer Rain of Vengeance. I don't really see Rain of Vengeance as like a one-shot ult. I see it more as like just significant more utility than Strafe does. The way that I envision using my ult is usually, like in this game specifically, I'm ulting off either a Stitch, Hook, or Gorge. Or I'm using it to, if I see a play, for example, if I like see, oh, this guy's out of position, I can Volt R and then try to like do a bunch of damage to them, or I can peel, duel. Strafe, in my eyes, is more of like a 1v9 tool. Like if I really think I need to like, make sure my hatred never falls off and just do a bunch of damage, I'll go Strafe, but in competitive environments, I'm a Rain only gamer.
So Strafe's more for when you feel it ahead, maybe in a Stormlink environment.
Yeah, like I'm just not a fan of it in general. Like I've never like played a game of Valla and be like, I really, really wish I had Strafe right now. Like here's actually a really good example in the game. You can see I time my ult, like Joe has Falling Sword, right? So in her mind she's mashing it. A perfectly timed Rain of Vengeance off of a Gorge like that, dead every time. See, Stitches hits a hook. We don't secure the kill, but you can see the value still. It's very good at following up with your tank, especially Stitches.
And we can really see that movement speed just in play here, as you're able to respond to all these different ideas while maintaining your hatred, which I think is kind of the thing I'm noticing most. Is you're actually, you have time to even mount up and get another auto attack in and get into a safer position and find that next auto attack to maintain that. So there used to be this old, maybe 2017 theory, but when you saw blinds on the enemy side, Strafe was the go-to because it gave you something to do during Blind Town. But I guess that's not really an issue now with multi-shot being a possibility in the game.
Yeah, multi-shot generating the extra hatred at level 1 makes it so that if I'm playing smart, like I should never drop below hatred. But that you are right though, when the only thing that in my eyes Strafe does is it makes it sure that hatred never falls off, which if it does, it obviously massively reduces your damage.
Oh, okay, so we're also over focused since the update on the damage side of the Fire at Will. I didn't even know it gave you
2 per enemy hit.
Wow.
So It makes it a lot easier to, especially going into like a fight where you didn't have minions to attack, immediately get a lot of hatred.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So you got Gloom here. Is there something on the enemy side that has developed or another go-to for you?
So I don't think I've ever played a game of Valla where I didn't go Gloom. The extra 50, like when you look at the enemy team comp, again, they don't have anything that like a Greymane or a Rainer that can just simply trade into me and auto me. They only have like random AoE poke damage, like Junkrat Qs, maybe Riptire, Maiev Qs, and Gloom. Like I'm literally a tank right now, and if I'm ever in a sticky situation, I can activate it. I lose all my hatred, but 50 spell armor means I'm not dying. So the other talent you could go is if the enemy team does have like no spell damage and like all auto or something, you can go the auto attack heal. I think the what's it called? Siphoning Arrows is super underwhelming. Like maybe if you're Q build, but Gloom I would say is like 90% of the time to pick for sure. Makes you a tank.
Is it kind of an issue of siphoning arrows? Just that's your bread and butter, so don't save it to heal yourself.
Just from my like just testing it, it just feels very underwhelming. Like it's never like, whoa, I'm unkillable. Like maybe the only time I see siphoning arrows being the best is if I'm Q build at level 20 and I go the E, like multiple charges, and I can Q, EQ, 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 and maybe that's like just insane healing. I haven't tested that, but Gloom's just OP.
Sounds like a lot of work to make a talent work.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Gloom is doing the job for you. Do you ever hold on to multi-shot to Gloom to get a multi-shot on the other side so you sort of reset your hatred?
No, I'd say no. I definitely don't do that.
Just emergency situations. Buttons got to be pressed. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And here's another situation of Rain off of Gorge, super strong, just dead. Nothing he can do.
Well, and that's an important caveat to make here, because oftentimes Valla is still this kind of old school double support hero where people get a little excited about that even in Stormlink environments. So just focusing on doing raw damage and having an emergency button, probably the better way to think about it. Just keep that number high. Level 16 here, you did get Manticore, another step away from the pretty all multi-shot build. But I think this plays exactly what you're into with the big numbers.
Yeah, so again, every single game I play as Valla, I go Manticore. This plays more into level 20, where when I get there, I'll eventually go Farflight Quiver. It's disgusting, like what Valla can do at late game. Like it's Nazebo levels of disgusting. Their tanks literally just can't step up to me, you know, and if like their comp does have very little threat for me and I can just free auto attack, Manticore, the damage just ramps up insanely quick. Like the multi-shot at 16, if I was to go it, is good. More multi-shots, W build, you know, that's obviously okay, but from like a Valla perspective, I'd rather just, you know, have a W every so often, but like if Joe steps up, I kill her every time, especially at 20. It's disgusting.
Kind of sounds like that giant killer pop would give you that kill potential you might be missing too in this build.
Yeah, like W build is definitely, you know, poke, and then Manticore, my threat levels go up like twice as much. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you already mentioned going Farflight Quiver. Obviously, Manticore is going to play into our later auto attack build if we did decide to go that. Are there other 20s that you would be looking at outside of Farflight Quiver, or just because Manticore, it's Farflight every time?
So yeah, like like I said, every game I've played of Valla, especially in a competitive environment, there's Farflight Quiver. It almost feels like not only my hero become like 10 times easier to play because like I'm literally in a better hammer, but that from the enemy team's perspective, they have to force onto me. And if I'm just pelting them away at a super safe range with Manticore, they're always going to pretty much have to fight at a massive disadvantage when they're all like half health, because they literally cannot. They have nothing to pressure me. So right. Farflight is just, it's, in my opinion, Farflight is just almost why we picked this game, because when you look at our comp, it's a very late game comp with Nazebo. As soon as we hit level 20, we win. Like, that's in my eyes. So yeah, Farflight Quiver is absolutely disgustingly good. If I had to pick another talent, it would have to be like acrobatic, but like, I don't know, Storm of Vengeance, in my opinion, from what I've played, is not very good. Like the ult upgrades, like Death Siphon is good, but after the nerfs to make it not healing, I don't know. I feel like if you're not going Farflight, you're kind of trolling.
Storm of Vengeance. Basic attacks against heroes reduce the cooldown of Rain of Vengeance by 5 seconds. Attack features increase attack speed. Okay, I can kind of see how even despite your build, you don't really need the attack speed because you're already up on them. And then you get the bonus range, so you're basically doing this poke pressure. And then is Volta auto attack reset like you have on some heroes like Leoric?
I don't think so.
It doesn't really matter.
Attack.
Yeah. Auto attack so fast.
But if you see in this fight, like I'm literally just like, I mean, this is just free. Like you see, I'm on the sidelines. They literally just can't do anything to me. I'm killing them all. Manticore, Farflight. Can't secure that kill, but like see, like I'm literally just I hold still auto, and look at this.
Yeah.
Like from a mile away, and she's just dead. Look at boom, dead. Oh, Blaze, boom. Nothing they can do. And also with Farflight, I can outrange structures. So I mean, literally just better hammer.
What is your weakness? I mean, you got here Weary Day taking care of you on the end-to-end. Does that kind of pad out your early game and help you get to that 20 you need, or you have a Stitches, so it's not like your tank is giving you a ton of defense to help you out. In fact, here you're just off on your own, doing your own thing.
See, like I remember in this game, like my team is like, play topside, oh my god, hit the core, and I'm just like, look what I'm doing. They literally cannot do anything to me. I can exist anywhere on the map, and look at this, just look how far away I am, and I can just free burn everyone. So I would say with that in mind, like the way that I play Valla is I try to essentially be as safe, especially when I don't like only have one healer. I'm not trying to like, be like the god hero of the game, 1v5, get in there, kill everything. I essentially stay as safe as I can while maximizing my damage. So I'm always keeping in mind what threats the enemy team has. For example, Maev. If I see Maev, I can do whatever I want, right? They're not like they can just randomly like, Kiwi me with Diablo or taunt me with Varian. So keeping track of enemy team threats, and when I see those threats and CDs are down, then I can essentially go and deal as much damage as I can, pressure the enemy team. And yeah, my goal isn't to like force pull off CD, especially when we have a Gorge, which is where ideally we want to be pulling.
That makes perfect sense. For those who are excited to play Valla, maybe take this exact build into Storm League, Valla does have the capability to get through camps really well with that stutter step. Is that something you do in your own home solo queue games, or do you stick to the lane, stick to the enemy hero, and get stacked?
No, that's a good point. Valla is really good at, no matter what build you go, I'd say W build's the worst technically, but Valla is a great camp doer. I'd say you probably need help on like bruiser camps, like at least one like healer, but no, she's really good at camping. And if your main goal is to do camps, then Q build with Monster Hunter at 7 is disgusting. You literally just one shot camp off cooldown with Kiwi Q.
Well, thank you for the rundown on Valla. This was very high octane. I want to try the excitement you had for the hero is intoxicating, and I really want to try this out. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, everybody watching here on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell as well. Take control of the algorithm. Make sure you get these videos each week, and I'll see you soon with more Learn to Play content for Heroes of the Storm.